Executive Director, Destination Marketing at the Royal Commission for AlUla, is here. Melanie Desouza. Melanie, looking resplendent. I love your coat. How are
It's a
you?
joy to be here. Thank you for having me, Hrishi.
And I thought the nice way to welcome you was, would be to play the Aussie lassie, Kylie Minogue. Have you been to any of her concerts, her gigs when you were in Oz?
To be honest, not, but we're very proud of her and, for that matter, her sister. They've both
Yeah,
gone on to do
Danny.
great things, yeah.
They have. The reason Melanie is here is because something big is happening. The Forever Revitalizing campaign for AlUla. It sounds very, very exciting, and she's here to launch it. And we'd love to know from you what it involves.
Thank you, Rishi. So, Forever Revitalizing is our first ever global brand campaign, and we think it is the right brand positioning and platform for a destination that is truly significant in terms of its heritage at a global level, but it's also got the most stunning landscapes and this vision and mission that is so purposeful, premised on sustainability, which we think is really well captured by those two words.
And it's wonderful that Mumbai has been chosen as the city where you're unveiling this for the region, and we're very proud of that. And it must make you very happy too.
Well, as a very proud Indian in terms of my ethnicity, I have to tell you, hand on heart, we believe India is going to be a prime market for us. The early signs are very, very positive. We've had investment in this market in terms of our trade and media relationship presence for 4 years now. And I think the early signs are very positive in terms of results.
So the recently opened Dar Tantora. I hope I've got the pronunciation right. You must keep correcting me. Dar Tantora, the house hotel in AlUla Old Town, seems to be a very promising new addition to the area. What can you tell us about its architecture, the restoration done by the team?
So, very, very exciting times. Two new hotels actually are opening this year. One, as you rightly pronounced, Dar Tantora in Old Town, which is one of our heritage sites. This mud brick village, best viewed from the air, if you like. Labyrinth of laneways connecting what was this village occupied till as recently as 40 years ago. And within this setting, there is parts of the old town dedicated to retail and dining, and now proudly playing home to this hotel by House Hotel, very sensitively restored, and with this majestic pool that has this view over the oasis, juxtaposed with these sandstone outcrops. So truly stunning, created by this Egyptian architect who was very much about a hotel that is sensitive to its environment and this heritage.
That's wonderful.
And
And
if I can plug the
yeah,
Chedi as well, Rishi, with your permission, the Chedi is this beautiful Singaporean brand that is the first time a hotel being opened up in what is a heritage site, what is Saudi Arabia's first ever UNESCO classified heritage site of Hegra, associated with the Nabateans and this vast stretch of land that plays home to 110 beautifully preserved tombs that the Nabateans have left us.
yeah, actually segues very beautifully into my next question, which is Saudi Arabia's first UNESCO World Heritage Site, Hegra. Uh, we'd like to know more. Give us the lowdown. The thing about Indians is, we're adventurous. Sometimes we miss our food, and if you give us our food,
Yeah.
wherever we are, in any corner of the globe, then we're open to experimentation. And
I
the
think that's
beauty
very
about
fair.
this region is there's enough food which is very close to the Indian palate,
Yes.
and we love our combination of heritage as well as sport. I mean, you'd perhaps ask the average Aussie, and they're very sportily inclined. They love the adventure sport. But Indians are equally fascinated by history because we are an ancient culture.
Well, I think we have history and adventure in spades. And the terrific thing about AlUla is this amazing backdrop that is where you play host to these adventure activities. So, truly, landscapes that take your breath away. And it's geology that has been in the making for 900 million years. You literally get off a plane and you are wowed by the environment. And for us, when it comes to adventure, there's everything from giant swings and zip lines to the most fascinating hikes and trails, ballooning in the morning, and what I strongly recommend, which is stargazing at night. You know, we have these night skies policies, which means that you have this fabulous vista of stars and this interpretation from local Saudis who tell you about how the Bedouins really used that to navigate in the old days. So fascinating array of experiences in the space of adventure. But when it comes to heritage, the Nabateans are perhaps best known to the Indian market as associated with Petra, because the treasury and monuments like that have had exposure over many years now worldwide. But what the Nabateans have left us in AlUla is this amazing kind of legacy, which is very much about their preoccupation with the afterlife. Beautifully preserved tombs, over 50 hectares of land, and a civilization that was very advanced in terms of its thinking as it related to resource management, as it related to, construction, if you like. What they've done in terms of craftsmanship is truly outstanding. And what the world doesn't know much about are the ancient kingdoms of the northwest of Saudi Arabia, the Dadanite and Leonite kingdoms, where there's also the most fascinating lion tombs which you can see.
Lovely. Experience AlUla. Go and check it out. You can find them on Instagram, on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on Twitter, all social media platforms, and start planning your next trip. You briefly mentioned sustainability at the top, and I want to talk a little more about that, how you aim to balance tourism development with the preservation of natural and cultural assets, how you ensure sustainable tourism practices while promoting growth and economic benefits for the region. Most importantly, what you call the AlUla Sustainability Charter. We're not very good with that in India. I mean, the restoration, the preservation, and the sustainability. I mean, we love our heritage, but more often than not, it's just a fresh coat of paint, which is not the way to do it. But we're also proud to say that we have restorers like Abha Narayan Lamba and Vikas Dilavari, who've done a splendid job with the CST, the Victoria Terminus Station, and lots to learn from AlUla and other destinations. So the sustainability charter, please.
So, Rishi, thank you for that question. Saudi Arabia only opened its doors to tourism about 4.5 years ago. And as part of 2030 and the vision, this was about diversification of the economy away from oil, and tourism very much earmarked as one of the sectors that can spearhead growth. So we've had the chance to really learn from the destinations that have done it right and those that haven't. And as part of our vision for sustainability, we're very much about capping visitor numbers at 2 million by 2035. And in everything we do, it's about starting off with the premise that we are custodians of this very rich heritage, both natural and cultural, and it's about preservation and it's about conservation. If I look at the work being done by the natural heritage and wildlife sector, for example, it's about regeneration of vast tracts of land to hopefully be able to reintroduce successfully the fauna and flora of yesteryear, including, we hope, in the not too distant future, the Arabian leopard, a threatened species. And then when I think about our endeavor with the community, we believe the community have to be front and center of the economic, benefit that we're hoping to generate. So for us, it's about how do we upskill them? How do we, ensure that they have pathways for economic prosperity? And the work that's being done in sectors like the arts, for example, to revive old traditional handicrafts and crafts is just stunning. So sustainability very much permeates through our thinking, whether it's the approach to programming, whether it's the approach to the natural and built environment, and to the partners that we choose to work with.
That's lovely. That's lovely. Okay, I want to come back to the adventurous tourist. You gave us a little bit of an inkling, again, a teaser at the top. I call them the energetic millennials and the Gen Z. And I believe AlUla has a wide variety of attractions. There's a balloon adventure, which I'd like you to tell us about. Luxury hospitality, which you did tell us about in terms of the Art Tantura, but a little more. Local artistry and craftsmanship. And I'm so glad that you just mentioned you're promoting that in a big way, and of course the vibrant food and beverage scene. And so handhold us through what we can expect.
Sure. So if I start with adventure, you know, the downside of ballooning is you've got to get up really early in the morning. But the upside is breathtaking landscapes, including if the winds are in the right direction, these aerial views over Hegra. And so I definitely recommend that. But, the walks and trails that you can do with the likes of Husak Adventure or any of our other adventure operators gives you the chance to really immerse in the landscape and be told that richer, deeper story about the fauna and the flora of this amazing destination. For me, depending on how much you're an adrenaline junkie or not, we have it in spades. So think of a giant swing where you're 85 meters above the earth and you're in this 75-meter arc swinging between these majestic canyons. So I think the litany of things you can do in the adventure space is just there. The giant stairway to heaven, as I affectionately call it. I mean, honestly, it's not for the faint-hearted like me, but for those adventure junkies, more power to you. As far as luxury is concerned, the other hotels that I want to just flag are Banyan Tree and Habitas, both of whom share our sustainability charter, both of whom have stunning settings in the Ashar Valley, which is also home to Mariah. And in Instagram, you would have seen Mariah, this beautiful multi-purpose venue, completely mirrored, was in the Guinness World Book of Records for the largest mirrored building in the world. And the architects from Italy, really, when they were commissioned to do this building, said, we can't compete with the landscape. We've got to pay homage to it. And it is one of the most stunning pieces of creative expression in the desert.
And food and beverages. I mean, is there enough for both vegetarian as well as non-vegetarian sensibilities?
There sure is. And for the Indian traveler, there's a couple of Indian restaurants, but there's also places like Saffron, the Thai restaurant in the Banyan Tree, and a real smorgasbord, I think, of offering when it comes to cuisines. We have a pop-up at the moment with Alain Ducasse, in the Oasis. And the Oasis is very much the lifeblood of AlUla, where we're really trying to hone in on this concept of oasis to table. So it's about fresh ingredients, and whether you think of the 29 varieties of citrus that we have, our local Barney dates, the amazing produce, for us it's about how do we have that as part of our vision for cuisine and ultimately for an agricultural sector that after tourism is a key driver of the economy.
Would you have a website that people can go to, or would you suggest that social media be the best way to reach?
experiencealula.com is our website.
Okay, I'm going to repeat
And
that very slowly for you guys. If you're driving, experiencealula.com. Experience Alula is where all the social media is. This is experiencealula.com. And will that also take them to your partners so that they can
absolutely.
book trips and help them plan?
I'm
Yeah.
very pleased to say that the work that our digital team have done more recently is upgrade of our website and certainly e-commerce enabled, so you can go through to partners and actually book.
Melanie, just I want to just go through the heritage and the monument piece a little more. Jabal Ikma, tell me about Jabal Ikma, please.
Wow, this is the legacy of ancient civilizations. I've heard it referred to as historically what would be the Twitter of today. The most amazing rock art and inscriptions, languages that go back to Aramaic and Dadanitic, the earliest forms of Greek and Latin, and what really is carved in those rocks is the times and lives of people who have called AlUla home over the millennia. So you have everything from musical instruments to war scenes to hunting scenes, and so much of the fauna. So, for example, bovines, the redneck ostrich, fascinating kind of depiction of, as I say, the times of these people who have proudly called AlUla home over the centuries, and recognizing that AlUla was the stopping point on the caravan routes, always seen as plentiful with resources and water in particular. So it attracted this, the caravans to stop. And it wasn't just goods that were traded, it was ideas. So this was a place
Wow.
of exchange, of language, of cultures, and so much of that captured for posterity in the rocks.
94.3 Radio 1.